The hush of night settles like a soft cloth draped over the edges of your thoughts. The walls around you no longer feel solid, only shadows outlined by stillness. You can hear the breath of the world again, long and low, moving through the trees, brushing past your window, curling into your room like incense smoke. There is no urgency, no expectation, only the gentle return to a quieter part of yourself, where even your name fades into the hush. You walk slowly now, as if each step is made not on the floor, but through layers of memory that no longer cling to you. In the distance, a temple bell rings once then twice, not to call you anywhere, but simply to remind you that everything echoes for a reason. You pause beneath an old wooden archway, the beams above weathered and cracked by the sun and rain of centuries. Moss cushions the stones beneath your feet. The scent of cedar and wet earth fills your lungs. Tonight, you are not asked to understand. You are only asked to be. In the courtyard of the temple, a monk sweeps fallen leaves into a neat pile. He doesn't look up. He doesn't need to. His hands know the rhythm. Sweep, pause, breathe. Sweep, pause, breathe. He is not in a hurry. The leaves will fall again tomorrow. There is no need to finish. Just this moment is enough. This is the essence of impermanence. Nothing stays, yet nothing is lost. The wind changes direction, and the pile scatters again. The monk smiles softly and begins again, not out of frustration, but with quiet joy. You feel a warmth rise in your chest, an understanding that effort itself is the path. You sit on a stone bench, worn smooth by generations before you. The cold of it seeps through your robes, reminding you that you are still here, still part of the turning world. Across the courtyard, lanterns swing gently, casting slow-moving shadows on the walls. You watch them, not expecting them to do anything but dance. Even shadows have their rhythm. There's an old Zen story of a man who asked a master, "What is enlightenment?" The master pointed to the bamboo swaying in the wind. When the man asked again, the master said, "Do you not hear it? The sound of the wind in the bamboo." The man frowned. The master added, "Once you hear it without asking, you will know." You close your eyes and hear the wind now, not just outside, but within. Thoughts rise like the leaves, and just like that, the breeze carries them away. What remains? When there is nothing left to think, you rise and walk further into the temple. No one stops you. There are no rules tonight. The corridors are dim lit only by the golden glow of oil lamps. Their light flickers on the wooden floors, guiding you like a trail of silent stars. You place your palm gently on the wall as you pass, feeling the ridges and grooves in the old timber, reminders that this place has lived many lives. At the end of the hall, a paper door stands slightly open. You pause. The silence invites you in. Inside, a small meditation hall awaits. Cushions arranged in a circle. A single incense stick burns in the center, its smoke curling toward the ceiling like a question that has no need for an answer. You sit. The room breathes with you. Somewhere in the distance, a bamboo fountain tips and resets, with a gentle clack. Then silence. Then clack. The mind notices, then forgets, then notices again. A Zen student once asked, "How do I still my mind?" The teacher replied, "Bring me your mind, and I will still it." The student said, "But I don't know where it is." The master said, "Then it is already still. You breathe in, you breathe out. You are not trying to sleep. You are simply not resisting rest. And in that surrender, the body begins to soften. The mind begins to float. Like petals in a stream, you drift without needing to know the destination. Have you noticed? The moment you stop grasping for sleep is when it begins to find you. Tonight, let things be unresolved. Let there be no conclusions. Let your story unfold without needing an end. The moon is not concerned with your to-do list. The stars are not waiting for your answers. You lean back against the wall, spine soft, limbs heavy. Even your breath is lighter now, barely brushing the air. A wandering monk once said, "My path is the sound of frogs at night and the hush of falling leaves." That is all the scripture I need. You understand this now. The world has been trying to teach you peace in 1,000 quiet ways. You only had to stop and listen, and now you do. The breath comes, the breath goes, the world continues. You remain. Somewhere beyond the walls, a nightbird calls, once then vanishes into silence. Its echo lingers not in the air, but in you, as if the sound unlocked a door you forgot was there. You don't know where that door leads. But it doesn't matter. You're not here to go anywhere. You're here to rest in the mystery of being. The incense thread floats upward, forming loops and spirals that drift and dissolve. No two shapes the same, none of them permanent. You wonder how many moments you've missed chasing answers that dissolved before you arrived. But tonight, you are still. Tonight you see it. Even the vanishing is sacred. There's a soft knock, not on a door, but on the surface of your thoughts. Something wants to arise, an image, a worry, a memory. But you smile gently and let it pass. You have no need for stories right now. No roles to play, no problems to solve. Just this moment, just this breath. An old Zen saying floats up from memory, let go or be dragged. You finally understand what it means not as a warning, but as an invitation. Letting go is not falling. It's flying without trying to reach anywhere. You lie down on the cushion, letting your weight melt into the earth beneath you. A gentle breeze curls through the crack in the wall, touching your cheek like a whisper. The world feels alive but unhurried. Even your pulse slows to match the rhythm of the dark. In another monastery, far away, a monk walks barefoot across the stones, his lantern bobbing with every step. He is not seeking anything. He is simply returning to his room. The light doesn't guide him. His steps do. He walks with no fear of getting lost, because there is nowhere he must be. You breathe again, softly, silently. No one hears you, but the universe notices. Each breath is a bell that rings without sound. Each exhale is a poem that never needs to be written. Your presence alone is enough. You recall the image of a stone dropped into a clear pond. The ripples spread outward in perfect circles, then disappear. Where did they go? Were they ever really separate from the water, or just water remembering movement? So it is with thought. So it is with self. A Zen master once held up a finger and said nothing. The student waited confused. Still, the master held it up. After a long silence, the student suddenly understood. Enlightenment is not something explained. It's what remains when explanation dissolves. Like now, no thought, no question. Just the warmth of your body, the coolness of the air, and the drifting scent of something ancient and sweet. You are not in a hurry to sleep. That's what makes it come more easily. You are not chasing anything. You are being with what is. How would it feel to live like this? To walk through your days as gently as you walk through this night. The stillness is not empty. It is full of presence, full of everything you once tried to name. Your fingers relax. Your jaw releases. Even your eyelids forget their weight. Somewhere outside, a bamboo chime shivers in the breeze. Its tone is pure, like water ringing inside silver. It makes no demand. It simply rings, and then returns to silence as if nothing happened. You feel that way now, open, resonant, then quiet again. There is no need to be better. No need to be whole. You already are. The cracks are not flaws. They are how the light gets in. You remember now what you forgot. That peace was never in the future. It was always in the pause between moments, in the breath you're taking now, in the breath after this one and the next. A monk once said, "Before enlightenment, I chopped wood and carried water. After enlightenment, I chopped wood and carried water." Nothing changes, yet everything does. The world doesn't become quieter. You just stop shouting over it. You turn onto your side, folding into yourself like a petal closing for the night. You don't need to finish anything. You don't need to understand. The dream will carry on whether you notice it or not. In this moment, you are the quiet center of a spinning world. In this moment, you are the flame and the candle. In this moment, you are already home. The floor beneath you creaks softly as the building settles into the weight of night. It does not resist the passing of time, it welcomes it, just like you. You begin to understand that stillness is not the absence of movement, but the kind of motion that flows without force. It's the river beneath the ice, the silence behind every sound. Your breath becomes the only sound you care to follow. not for its rhythm, but for its kindness. It enters you without asking, leaves you without clinging. Breath teaches you what love might be if love needed nothing in return. The room is darker now, or maybe your eyes are simply quieter. Either way, you are not looking outward anymore. You've begun the deeper journey, not into dreams, but into presence, into the soft cave beneath thought, where awareness lives untouched. There's an old Zen koan. What is your original face before your parents were born? You let the question sit beside you, like a cat in the dark. You don't need an answer. The question itself is enough. It reminds you that you are older than your name, deeper than your story. You imagine a single dew drop on a lotus leaf, trembling in the early dawn. It does not know when it will fall. It does not fear the fall. When it slips into the pond, it becomes the pond. No resistance, no regret. So it is with sleep. You feel yourself nearing that edge now, not a cliff, but a soft curve downward. The place where the self loosens its grip, where memory fades into warmth, where thinking becomes dreaming and dreaming becomes stillness. A wooden fish in the hallway strikes once with a dull tonk. Somewhere a monk is chanting, not for you, not for anyone, just to join sound with silence, voice with void. You let the chant echo in your chest, not as meaning, but as vibration. You are not here to learn. You are here to remember. To remember that peace is not something you achieve, it's what you uncover when you stop digging. Even the mind, when left alone, returns to its natural state, calm, vast, clear. You reach for no thoughts now. You let them pass, like lanterns on a river, each one glowing briefly, before fading into the dark water. Some are beautiful, some are strange, but none of them matter tonight. The wind rattles gently against the shutters. It wants to come in, but has nowhere else to go. You understand. You too have wandered far, only to realize that the silence inside was always the warmest home. Another old saying rises without effort. The wild geese do not intend to cast their reflection. The water has no mind to receive their image. You realize how many years you spent trying to impress the water, and how peaceful it is to let go of that. Now you are the water. You lie still, not stiff, not tense, just still, like the last note of a song that continues ringing even after it's played. What would it feel like to live each day as if nothing had to be earned? The air thickens slightly, like a blanket of fog rolling in, but it's not cold. It holds you. It surrounds you like a mother who needs no words. Sleep is not far. It's here, just behind your final thought. You can almost feel it brush past you, a shadow without weight, a hand without fingers. There's a saying in Zen, no snowflake ever falls in the wrong place. So let yourself fall. You have nothing left to hold tonight, not even yourself. And that is the safest feeling of all. The night deepens around you, but it does not grow heavier. It simply becomes more spacious, as if the sky itself is expanding to make room for your rest. You no longer feel the edges of your body so clearly. The lines have blurred like ink on wet paper. You are dissolving, but not disappearing. You are becoming part of something wider, quieter. The wooden floor, the paper walls, the soft hum of crickets beyond the temple, they are no longer separate from you. You are inside them, and they inside you. This is what the masters meant when they said the self is a dream within a dream. Not something to lose, but something to outgrow, like an old robe hung gently on a peg. There's an image in your mind now, a monk in winter, kneeling at the edge of a frozen stream. He places a stone at the center of the ice and bows, not because the stone is special, but because this moment is. Because the act of placing something gently in the world is an offering to existence itself. You feel that now, that sleep too can be an offering, a way to bow to the night without needing to be seen. Your chest rises and falls in slow waves. You do not direct it. It happens, like the tide, like the stars, like forgiveness. A question emerges soft as breath. If you stop chasing peace, what remains? The answer arrives without sound. Just warmth. Just ease. Just this. Somewhere deep in the mountains, a temple bell rings again. You know it isn't close, but you feel it resonate in your ribs. It is not there to wake anyone. It is not even rung by a person. It is tugged by time itself, keeping rhythm with the turning of the world. You shift slightly one hand, resting near your heart, the other by your side. You are not trying to relax. You simply are relaxed. The difference is everything. There's a legend of a Zen master who, nearing death, was asked for his final words. He smiled and said, "I have no final words," then closed his eyes. Even in leaving, he was simply continuing. No destination, no ending, only return. You too are returning now to the part of yourself that never needed to strive, the part that was always whole, always still. The thoughts that once knocked loudly at the door now pass by like travelers who've lost interest. You don't need to answer. You never did. In this stillness, even time loses shape. Was it minutes ago you lay down, or hours? It makes no difference. You have stepped out of the clock and into the present, where nothing is waiting and everything is allowed. You are cradled by this moment, and this one, and this one. There is a teaching in Zen sit, quietly doing nothing, and the grass grows by itself. You are doing that now. not meditating, not striving, just allowing the night to grow around you, leaf by leaf, breath by breath. Sleep is not a door you walk through. It is the space that opens when you stop walking. And now that space opens, quietly, naturally, you don't fall asleep. You melt into it, like ice returning to water, like a question dissolving in peace. You have nothing left to prove, no thoughts left to chase, no future to fix, only this moment, and it is more than enough. The walls no longer seem like boundaries. They feel like arms. Everything around you cradles your rest, not with intention, but with presence. The night doesn't try to comfort you, yet it does. The floor doesn't try to hold you, yet it does. There is a soft alignment of all things, just enough to remind you that you belong here. Your breath is so quiet now you can barely hear it, but it's still there, flowing like wind through reeds, effortless and complete. You are not controlling it. You are not watching it. You are simply being breathed. And in that, there is peace. A memory drifts in, perhaps real, perhaps dream. A monk walking in the rain, his robe soaked through his straw sandals, squishing with every step. Someone asks, "Why don't you seek shelter?" The monk smiles and replies, "I am already under the sky." That is what you feel now. You are under the sky, within it, held not by a roof, but by vastness. You shift slightly, not out of restlessness, but out of softness, like a cloud changing shape in the breeze. There's nothing wrong, nothing to adjust, but still, your body follows its own wisdom. You trust it now. Trust that it knows how to rest, how to release, how to return. A faint scent of cedar lingers in the air, or maybe it's just the memory of it. Either way, it wraps around you like a story with no words. You don't need to name what you feel. That would only reduce it. Some truths are meant to be lived, not labeled. There's a saying in Zen, the quieter you become, the more you can hear. You are hearing now, not voices or ideas, but something deeper. The space between things, the heartbeat of stillness, the kindness of silence. You do not resist it. You do not reach for it. You just let it be. Let it carry you. Let it become you. Somewhere far off, a branch snaps under the weight of a bird. The sound is sharp, sudden, and then gone. You notice the space after the sound. It feels wider than the sound itself, like a field after harvest, empty but not lacking. That's what this moment is. Nothing left to do, nothing left to fix, and yet it feels full. You remember now the Zen monk who watched the moon reflect in a still pond and whispered, "Not even a ripple." He wasn't speaking to anyone. He wasn't performing wisdom. He was just noticing. You are doing that now. Noticing the way your thoughts have thinned, how the body releases tension like a boat slipping its rope. There's no announcement, no celebration, just a quiet letting go. You don't know if you are halfway to sleep or already there. That's the beauty of it. Sleep does not ask for precision. It welcomes the in-between. You lie still, like the surface of a calm lake. Thoughts may try to stir you, but they are stones dropped far away. By the time their ripples reach you, they've faded to nothing. Let them fade. Let them pass. Let this breath carry you into the next without resistance. What if rest is not something you earn, but something you remember? You have remembered. And now you are being carried not by effort, but by surrender. Sleep is not a door you push open. It is the quiet room you realize you never left. The edges of everything have softened. Your breath, your body, even the quiet thoughts that used to echo loudly inside your head. They no longer demand anything. They simply drift by, like leaves on a slow stream, noticed but untouched. You have entered that sacred space between wakefulness and dreaming, where nothing chases and nothing escapes. The stillness now feels like a companion. It doesn't speak, but it listens. You feel it beside you, around you, inside you. It has no form, yet it holds you more gently than anything else ever could. A distant memory rises, not a sharp scene, just a feeling sitting beside a fire long ago, listening to its crackle, watching the sparks rise and disappear into the night sky. That memory doesn't come with a lesson. It simply warms you again, not because the fire is real, but because the peace you felt then is real now. In the temple courtyard, the monk is still sweeping though. In truth, maybe he never was. Maybe the image is just your mind whispering something true, that peace is in repetition, that life does not need to be dramatic to be beautiful. The sweep of a broom, the ring of a bell, the sound of your own breath. A student once asked a Zen teacher, "What should I do with my life?" The teacher poured tea into a cup until it overflowed. The student gasped. The teacher said, "Until you empty the cup, nothing more can be added." You feel the meaning without needing to interpret it. You too are letting the excess pour out. The stress, the roles, the need to know. And in the emptying, something quieter arrives. Not answers, but clarity. Not plans, but peace. You notice your hands again, still and warm. Your shoulders, once tense now, as heavy as stones resting at the bottom of a clear pool. You don't try to hold them up anymore. The water of rest carries them. The night outside deepens. Crickets sing in soft rhythm, a lullaby made not of words, but of life continuing without rush. Even the stars feel unhurried, as if they too are resting in their place, offering no light except what naturally falls. You wonder, how long have you longed for this kind of ease, And now that it's here, you ask nothing more of it. You let it unfold. You let it stay. The temple around you breathes with you. Each wooden beam has known centuries. Each stone in the wall has stood through windfire and rain. They've learned to be still, not by avoiding time, but by welcoming it. You welcome it now, too. You are not escaping the world. You are entering it more deeply through stillness. Another Zen story drifts in gentle as a feather. A monk was asked, "What do you do when you're alone in the monastery?" He replied, "I wait for the tea to steep. That's all. Nothing more. Tonight, you are that monk, and this silence is your tea. No rushing, no forcing, just waiting, just resting. Your eyes may close, or not. Your body may sleep, or not. It doesn't matter. You've already found the place you were looking for. It was never a destination. It was this quiet awareness, this gentle letting go, and now it's all that remains. The silence is not empty. It is layered, textured, filled with presence. Beneath its surface, you begin to hear things that were always there. The hum of your own breath, the slow murmur of blood through your veins, the soundless hush of awareness itself. You are not just resting in the quiet. You are becoming part of it. Your mind no longer presses forward. It leans back like a traveler placing down a heavy bag and sitting beneath the shade of an old tree. There is nowhere else to go. The destination was never beyond the horizon. It was here in this still breath, this unclenched jaw, this surrendered now. In the dark corners of the temple, the shadows flicker slightly as the oil in the lamps burns low. They are not fearful shadows. They are soft, alive, tender with memory. You feel their movement like a lullaby, an unseen hand brushing your thoughts aside, making space for deeper rest. You remember a Zen saying, "To know and not to do is not yet to know." But there is nothing to do now. No action needed. No knowing needed. Just being. Just the slow unfolding of yourself into silence. There's an old story of a student who asked, "When will I be enlightened?" The teacher looked at him, then said, "When you no longer ask." You understand this not with logic, but with your breath. Because you've stopped asking. You've stopped waiting. And in that space, something has arrived. Not noise, not clarity, but ease. Your fingers no longer grasp for answers. Your thoughts no longer sprint toward meaning. All things slow in this softness. Even time loosens its hold on you. There is only now, only this breath. You lie in the arms of the night, like a child who knows they are safe even without understanding why. Not because the world has promised you peace, but because you've stopped resisting the peace that is already here. The floor does not move beneath you, yet somehow you feel cradled, rocked gently by the rhythm of rest itself. There is nothing artificial in this stillness. It is ancient. It is sacred. It is yours. You think of a river that flows through mountains not loudly, not swiftly, but with certainty. It doesn't need to reach the ocean. It is whole in its flowing. You are that river now, not sleeping out of need, but because rest is your nature. What happens when you give yourself fully to this moment, not with effort, but with release? The answer isn't words. It's this feeling. Somewhere, a candle burns low. Somewhere, a bird tucks its head beneath its wing. Somewhere, a bell that hasn't rung in years simply waits perfectly still. None of them try to be silent. They just are. So are you. You do not need to empty your thoughts. You only need to stop following them. Let them pass like wind across your skin, real, but not yours to hold. Let them pass. Let everything pass, and see what remains. Not identity, not memory, not goal, just breath, just warmth, just this. There is no longer a boundary between your breath and the breath of the world. They move as one soft slow without struggle. Each inhale is a quiet arrival. Each exhale a peaceful departure. You are not observing this rhythm. You are this rhythm. Your thoughts, once urgent visitors, now feel like distant figures walking away on a misty path. You do not call them back. You do not watch them leave. You simply remain in the space they've left behind, a space wide enough for stillness to bloom. You recall a teaching. When the mind is nowhere, it is everywhere. Tonight, your mind is not tethered to a task or a timeline. It is unmoored like a boat set free on a calm sea. You drift, not lost, but found in the surrender, in the floating, in the letting go. The night air grows deeper, like a bowl filling with silence. The temple walls seem to vanish, replaced by sky. You lie under it, without fear, without need. There is no longer an inside or outside. There is only presence, stretching in all directions. You feel warmth in your chest, not emotion, not thought, but the quiet hum of being. A steady, patient glow, like an ember that never went out. It doesn't ask for your attention. It simply is. In a forgotten part of the temple, a scroll hangs with a single brushstroke painted across its surface. It's not a word, not a symbol, just a single line, curved and imperfect. It is said the monk who painted it used one breath to guide the brush. No correction, no hesitation. One breath, one stroke, a lifetime contained in a single movement. You remember this now. Sleep is not the end of the day. It is the soft continuation of your true self, the one that has never needed permission to rest. Your hands, your legs, your spine. Each part of you feels heavy in the best way. Anchored, grounded, returned. Even gravity seems to cradle you gently, as if the earth itself wants to hold you while you rest. The world continues, but you don't need to keep up. The moon glides across the sky without effort. The stars burn in perfect silence. And you, without moving, are part of this quiet miracle. No bells ring. No voices call. And still, everything feels in place. You remember the story of the monk who was asked, "What is the most important teaching?" He answered, "When I am hungry, I eat. When I am tired, I sleep." No parable, no riddle, just truth. And here you are, tired and resting. You have no destination, no enlightenment to chase, no moment to achieve. You are not preparing for tomorrow. You are not recovering from today. You are simply being completely without effort. Even your heartbeat is softer now, like a drum covered in silk. Steady, quiet kind. You lie there wrapped in a stillness that does not ask anything of you, not even sleep. It welcomes you as you are half thought, half dream, whole presence. And now, the invitation is simple. Stay, just stay. Stay not because there is something to finish. Stay because there is nowhere else more gentle to be. In this breath, in this body, in this moment that asks nothing from you except your quiet being. The night wraps around you like a faded robe, familiar, worn soft by time, and stitched with every evening you've ever longed for peace. It does not press against your skin. It rests with you, breathes with you, listens with you. You are no longer searching for silence. You are inside it. And slowly, it is inside you. A breeze stirs faintly outside the window, rustling the branches of an unseen tree. You do not open your eyes. You feel it anyway. Like a whisper, without words, it brushes against your awareness and keeps moving, carrying nothing away, leaving only stillness in its wake. You recall another teaching, gentle and short. Let everything happen to you. Beauty and terror. Just keep going. No feeling is final. But tonight, there are no extremes. Just the in-between. Just this endless gray-blue hush where thought and self lose shape. You do not need to make sense of it. You do not need to name this calm. You only need to rest in it. There is a bell somewhere in the distance that never rings, yet you sense it. Its silence speaks more clearly than sound. It's always been there, waiting, not to call you to prayer or purpose, just to remind you that you are already here. You've always been here, even when you ran, even when you fought against the stillness, even when you believed peace was something far away. It was here, in the space behind every breath, in the quiet beneath every thought, in the softness that remains when everything else is allowed to fall away. And now you're ready to fall too. not down, but inward, not with weight, but with grace. Sleep is not a break from life. It is life continuing without you needing to shape it. You don't guide this journey. You surrender to it. You drift. You dissolve. You return. The temple breathes. The walls hold their silence. The world turns slowly, but tonight it turns for you, and still you remain here whole and held. There is no more boundary between your body and the space around it. No more separation between you and the night. Even the sense of you begins to loosen, like a knot untying itself without pain. Gently, wordlessly, you are being undone, not lost, not diminished, but returned to something wider than form. Your breath continues like a tide that no longer needs the shore. It flows in, it flows out, and with each wave, the self softens further. You are not breathing. Breathing is simply happening, and it is enough. The soft hum of insects outside continues their chorus, rising and falling like an ancient prayer. They do not know they are singing. That is what makes the song pure. You feel yourself becoming part of that rhythm, not observing it, not naming it, simply being it. A Zen master once said, "The great way is not difficult if you do not pick and choose." You understand now. You are not picking anything, not choosing what to feel, what to think, what to remember. You are letting it all pass. And in that passing, you find yourself more whole than ever. The wooden beam above you creaks with the movement of age. It has watched many nights, many seekers, many breaths come and go. It does not hold wisdom. It simply holds the silence that allows wisdom to emerge. You are not here to impress the silence. You are here to be impressed by it, to let it press into you gently, like hands smoothing a wrinkled cloth. You do not resist. There is nothing sharp left in you, just softness, just quiet. Somewhere far off, a door slides shut, not with force, with care. Even that closing feels like part of a greater rhythm. You realize now that even endings are not final. They are movements, breaths, pauses in an endless unfolding. You feel your face soften, your jaw unhinge slightly, your mouth part just enough to release the last holding breath. Everything in you is now aligned with rest, not just in body, but in spirit. There is no voice here telling you to sleep, no mind insisting it is time. Just this great, gentle undoing, like mist rising off a lake before dawn. Like a candle melting in a room no one enters. Like a thought that never quite completes, and is beautiful for that. The stillness welcomes you now, not as a guest, but as something it never forgot. It has been waiting, not impatiently, but faithfully. And now that you've stopped searching, it meets you here, in this moment, that is so soft it cannot be grasped, so wide it cannot be described, so yours it cannot be taken, and so you rest without story, without shape, without effort, just the sound of breath, the silence behind it, and the slow falling away of everything else. Nothing more is needed now. Not from your body, not from your thoughts, not even from your breath. The journey has slowed into stillness like a stream that finally reaches the calm of a deep, still lake. No ripples, no urgency, only depth, only rest. You feel the quiet stretch out beneath you like an endless field of night. Soft, warm, infinite. You are no longer lying on it, you are lying within it. There is no resistance here. Even gravity has softened its hold, as if the earth itself is lifting you, not pulling you down. A single thought floats into awareness like a feather on air. What if I never had to try so hard again? And then the feather drifts on. You do not follow. You let it go. There is a Zen image of a cloud drifting across a full moon. The moon does not resist. It does not move. It does not lose its light. It simply allows the cloud to pass. And in time, the moon shines fully again. You are that moon. Your thoughts, like clouds, have thinned. You feel the light beneath them, constant, unshaken. In this space, even names fade. You are not your memories, not your plans, not your efforts. You are simply the stillness that has always remained underneath it all. No past, no future, no need. Just this soft, boundless present, and in it you are perfectly held. Let even the idea of sleep fall away. There is no threshold to cross, no switch to flip. Rest is already happening. You are already in it. No need to say good night. No need to wait for dreams. This moment is enough. You are enough. The night holds you without asking questions. It doesn't wonder what you did today or what you will do tomorrow. It simply wraps around you like an old friend who knows you without needing to speak. There is nothing to explain, nothing to prove, just the deep, shared silence of being. Your body is almost gone now, not lost, but light. It feels less like you are lying down, and more like you are floating gently suspended in the quiet beneath all things. Even your breath has become distant, like a lullaby whispered from across a great still lake. You do not reach for it. You simply receive it. A candle in the next room flickers once more before extinguishing. The dark that follows is not empty. It is full of softness, full of space, full of presence. There's an old Zen story of a monk who asked his teacher, "What happens after we die?" The teacher replied, "Why worry about the unknowable? Have you finished living this breath? You understand that now, not as a riddle, but as truth. This breath is all that matters. This breath is all there is. Not the one before, not the one that might come next. Only this one. And it is enough. No more seeking, no more striving. Only this quiet falling inward. Even the stars seem slower now, as if they too have entered the same rhythm, the one that doesn't move by hours, but by heartbeats and silence. You lie as if you have always been lying here, as if the world was shaped to cradle you like this. There is no edge between rest and awareness anymore. They overlap, dissolve, merge. You don't need to sleep. You don't need to stay awake. You just need to be here. And you are, somewhere far away, a pine branch bends beneath the weight of dew. It does not snap. It does not complain. It yields. And in yielding, it holds both the weight and the grace of the moment. You too are learning that now, not through words, but through the quiet surrender of your body. You have given up the need to explain yourself to the silence. And so the silence receives you completely. Your thoughts have grown soft, like snowflakes, landing one by one and vanishing into the warmth beneath. They no longer pile up. They do not linger. Each thought appears, bows, and disappears. There's a teaching. Don't try to clear your mind. Just let it settle on its own. Tonight the mind has done just that. Like silt in still water, everything has fallen to the bottom. What remains is clarity, not the sharpness of logic, but the gentleness of presence. In a forgotten mountain monastery, a small boy once sat beside his master at dusk. The boy asked, "What is the most important part of meditation?" The master, eyes half closed, replied, "Getting up afterward and living gently." You remember that now. That even rest is a kind of preparation for gentleness. That sleep too is part of the path. You are not retreating. You are renewing. The air around you feels warmer now. Not in temperature, but in spirit. As if the night itself is leaning in, offering you the gift of stillness, of nothingness, of space. And you accept it, not with grasping, but by not turning away. Your body feels almost translucent now, as if light could pass through it. You are still here, but you are no longer bound by weight. You are light. You are breath. You are silence shaped for a while into a human form. Everything else has fallen away, and still you remain. There is no rush in this place, and nothing pulls you forward. Even time which once pressed against your skin like a steady wind has softened into something weightless. You feel it now, not as a current to swim through, but as a vast, still lake in which you float, motionless, yet held. Your awareness drifts like a lantern on quiet water. No paddle, no destination, only presence. A faint memory stirs a Zen hermit who lived alone in the hills, visited only by deer and falling leaves. When asked what he had discovered in his solitude, he replied that I was never truly alone. The wind and I spoke often. The stones listened without judgment, and the stars reminded me how to be still. You understand that now, not as poetry, but as lived experience. Even in your quietest moments, you are surrounded, not by noise or company, but by presence. Life sits with you, breathes with you, keeps watch as you rest. The corners of your mind grow dim, not in fear, but in comfort, like the dimming of a lantern at the end of a long evening. What needs to be seen has been seen. What needs to be known has already been known. Now, only being remains. There is a soft sound, perhaps imagined of a brush, moving across paper. You picture a monk sitting cross-legged painting a single circle with one stroke of ink. The Enso, a symbol of wholeness, of completion, of the universe as it is needing nothing. You are that circle now. Nothing more to add, nothing more to remove. And still you are alive, not in the restless sense of doing, but in the still, unwavering sense of being. You have not fallen asleep. You have returned to a place inside yourself where thought fades and peace remains, to the home beneath all movement where silence speaks and breath sings. And in this moment, without needing to move, you are exactly where you need to be. The stillness has grown so complete that it begins to carry its own texture, like the surface of a lake before dawn, flat but not empty. You begin to feel its depth beneath you, as though you are lying not on a floor, but on something vast and ancient that remembers everything, yet says nothing. The silence becomes a kind of wisdom in itself, wordless, but unmistakable. You feel your body sinking into it, not downward, but inward. Each breath you take folds you further into this moment, as if every inhale gathers the remnants of thought, and every exhale scatters them like ash. The mind no longer holds tightly. It releases its grip, one finger at a time, until even the idea of you loosens like thread, unspooling in gentle hands. Somewhere in memory, or maybe in another life, you recall the tale of a young monk who asked his teacher why they practiced silence each evening, even when nothing was said. The teacher led him out under the stars and pointed upward. "Do the stars speak to each other?" the master asked. The boy shook his head, and yet the teacher said, "Here, you are moved by them. What more do you need than presence that doesn't explain itself?" The boy didn't answer. He looked up again, and in the long stillness that followed, he began to understand that presence wasn't something added to life. It was life itself before the noise. You lie there now, like that young monk, beneath your own kind of sky. There may be no stars above your ceiling, but the vastness feels the same. You don't need to ask anything of this night. You don't need the silence to explain itself. You are moved by it even without knowing how. There is no hurry to this realization. It doesn't strike like lightning. It unfolds like fog at the edge of a quiet field. You don't chase it. It arrives because you've stopped chasing. Your awareness floats back into the room, into this body, this breath. And yet nothing feels small. This body, once confined by muscle and skin, now feels open like a doorway, not a wall. Through it, the world breathes. Through it, the night enters. Through it, the peace that once seemed distant becomes part of you. You shift slightly on your side, not because of discomfort, but because your body knows how to settle itself now. Not through correction, but through permission. You are not trying to be still. You simply no longer resist it. A memory drifts to you, perhaps not yours, perhaps borrowed. A story of a hermit who lived for decades in the mountains alone with the moss and the birds and the passing clouds. When asked how he endured the solitude, he replied, "I was never alone. I had the mountain stillness to mirror my own." You feel that same stillness now, not as something outside of you, but as something blooming from within. The mountain is here. The moss is here. The clouds are here. They have all gathered inside your breath. You are not just lying still. You have become stillness itself. The world continues without you needing to hold it. You no longer believe rest is something you must earn. It is something that has always been waiting, like a room in the house of your soul that you forgot you built. You have walked back to that room now, and you are welcome here. There is nothing left to accomplish, and yet in this moment of doing nothing, everything returns. The wind tonight moves without sound, but you feel it inside your breath, as if the air itself is carrying an old message, written not in words, but in stillness. It wraps around you, gently like a robe spun from forgotten memories, and you realize that silence isn't the absence of sound. It is a kind of presence. It listens. It watches. It waits for nothing, yet holds everything. You've stopped measuring this moment. Time doesn't pass here. It opens. And you are inside that opening, suspended like dust in a golden shaft of light. Your body knows this rhythm better than the mind ever could. It knows how to soften into gravity. It knows how to yield without collapse. Even your breath has become a teacher now, not rushing ahead, not dragging behind, but resting in the exact place it needs to be. Inhale. Pause. Exhale. Return. A sacred rhythm you had long forgotten you were born with. Somewhere in the back of your awareness, you remember a story. There was once a monk who traveled far to visit a revered Zen master. The journey took many days. The road was long and hard. When he finally arrived, he bowed and asked Master, "What is the final truth of the way?" The master looked up from the tea he was pouring and said, "Did you enjoy the mountain on your way here?" The monk blinked, unsure. "Yes, I think so," he said. The master nodded. "Then that's all. There is no riddle there, no secret, just the simplest thing to be where you are while you're there, to notice the mountain while you're walking, to notice your breath while you're breathing, to notice this rest now while it's happening, because it is happening, and you are not outside of it. You are resting, and the rest is real. You shift slightly, not from discomfort, but as a leaf shifts on a pond, carried by an unseen ripple responding without resistance. Even your movements now are soft, instinctive, free from the urgency of purpose. There is nothing to finish, no achievement here, just breath and body and the bed that holds you. A candle flickers somewhere real or imagined, and the light plays on the wall like the passing of thought across a quiet mind. Shadows dance, but you no longer follow them. You let them move. You let them go. You are not fighting to remain present. You are not fighting anything. Presence is what's left when the fight dissolves. And now it has. You remember again the feeling of being a child, though not any particular memory, just that sensation of lying back without question, trusting that someone or something was watching over you. A parent, a sky, a silence. That kind of surrender lives in you still. It was never taken, only buried beneath the layers of becoming someone. But tonight you do not need to be someone. You can return to just being. There is another story, this one softer, quieter, told more often in whispers between monks than written in books. A master and his disciple sit together at dusk. No words have passed between them for over an hour. Finally, the disciple says, "Master, I think I'm beginning to understand the way." The master looks at him with kind eyes and says, "Then let it go." The disciple is confused. "But I've worked so hard. I know the master says." "That's why you're tired." And they both return to silence. You understand this now. Not with your intellect, but with your breath. All that effort to be still was only noise. Now, you are not trying to be still. You simply are. The floor beneath you, the quiet room, the layers of fabric gathered around your resting form. They are not obstacles to peace. They are part of it. There is no other condition to wait for. No better moment on the horizon. Nothing needs to change. Even the thoughts that still come are not intruders. They too are allowed. They rise, they pass, and you remain. Not gripping, not guiding, just witnessing. The body begins to release more deeply now. Not like letting go of something you're holding, but like remembering you were never holding it in the first place. The muscles of your face soften. The eyes sink slightly into their place. The shoulders, long guards of tension, finally yield to the truth that there is no more to defend. You are safe, not because you've secured the world, but because you've stopped resisting it. Even the ache that once haunted the edges of your awareness, the worry, the memory, the doubt, has softened now into a kind of warm distance. It's not gone, but it no longer owns you. It floats. It hums quietly at the edge of sleep like a boat tied to shore, and you resting beside it have no need to sail tonight. You rest not in escape, but in return. The way a wave returns to the sea, not in defeat, but in reunion. The night expands around you. The breath stays gentle. The silence grows deeper than you knew silence could be. And still you are here. Still, whole, held. A deeper stillness enters the room, not arriving from anywhere, but rising from within, like warmth from buried embers that never went out, only waited. You do not need to stoke this flame. It grows quietly on its own, fed by your surrender. The more you soften, the more it glows. Not to burn, not to shine, but to comfort. This warmth doesn't come from the body. It comes from awareness resting in itself at last. Your thoughts have slowed now, not because you've silenced them, but because they have no audience. They wander and notice your stillness and leave. There is no conversation, no resistance, just space. The mind is no longer a crowded hall. It's a wide field, empty of noise, full of sky. You lie at the center of that field, like a rock that has been there for centuries. You don't need to move. The seasons pass around you, and you remain. You are not apart from the world. You are the unmoving center around which it turns. There is a Zen story of an old teacher whose students often asked questions that had no answers. He never grew impatient. When asked, "What is the meaning of life?" he would sit silently. When asked, "What happens after death?" he would look at the clouds. When asked, "Why do we suffer?" he would sip tea. One day, a frustrated student asked, "Why do you never answer directly?" The teacher smiled gently. "I do," he said. "It's just that you are still waiting for a voice louder than silence. You understand this now. The silence doesn't explain, it reveals. It reveals by not interfering, by allowing, by holding open the space where truth no longer needs to shout. Your breath falls into that silence like a leaf dropping into a river. It lands, it floats, it moves on. So do you. You are floating now, not through space, but through attention. You are no longer focused on the world. The world is focused on you. It watches you rest. The walls breathe with you. The ceiling softens above you. The ground does not pull, it welcomes. Gravity itself feels kind. Your hands resting open no longer need to grasp. They remember now what it means to be still without holding to touch, without reaching. You wonder how long it has been since you allowed yourself to be this soft, this without purpose, this without demand. And yet, this moment has weight, not a heaviness, but a presence, like walking into an ancient forest and feeling that the trees are not just there, they are aware. So is this night, aware of you, not judging, not measuring, just gently noticing that you finally come home. There's a saying whispered among monks in the early hours of the morning. When the candle goes out, the light doesn't die. It returns to where it came from. You feel that now. The return. Not a loss, but a homecoming. Sleep is not the dark. It is the dissolving of the boundary between you and the dark. It is the vanishing of edges, of effort, of separateness. And with each breath, you melt further into it. A breeze stirs the air, or perhaps your own exhale. It's hard to tell now. Inside and outside no longer feel divided. The breath is not happening within you. It's happening through you. As if you are a window, not a wall. You remember another story told rarely because it is not dramatic, not flashy. A young novice burdened by the complexity of practice asked his master, "What do I need to master first posture, breath, or thought?" The master placed a hand on the boy's chest and said, "Learn to rest where you are." That was all. No further instruction. Just this rest where you are. And now you do. You do not lean forward into tomorrow. You do not pull yesterday behind you. You lie still in the middle, where nothing needs to be known. The weight of the day has slipped off your shoulders, like a garment finally shed. You no longer wear the name you answer to. You no longer carry the story you told yourself about how this day should have gone. All of it laid down beside you like folded robes. You feel the pulse of your body no longer racing toward anything. It beats now like the rhythm of a bell, rung only once and left to echo. That echo fills the room. It fills your limbs. It fills your heart. The silence has become your shape. You do not disturb it by lying here. You fulfill it, and now you begin to drift, not away, but deeper, not to escape, but to return, not into darkness, but into wholeness. You are not waiting for sleep anymore. You are becoming it. The line between waking and dreaming has thinned so gently you can no longer tell when one ends and the other begins. And yet there is no need to know. What comes next is not something you step into. It is something that unfolds within you, like petals opening in the dark, quietly, without force, without witness, just the silent bloom of surrender. Your breath has become so soft now that it no longer feels like air moving. It feels like the world itself breathing through you, as if the sky has placed its stillness into your chest and said, "Rest here. Let everything else fall away." There is no effort left in the body. Even the subtle act of being has become light. Your feet, your legs, your spine, once so involved in movement, now lie as if they've always belonged to the earth. Not held down, but returned. Not claimed, but embraced. In this place of rest, images sometimes rise, not as thoughts, but as echoes. You see a pine forest after rain. The bark of the trees is dark with moisture. The ground is soft. A deer passes between the trunks, pausing only for a moment before vanishing into the mist. You are not watching this. You are in it. You can smell the wood, feel the damp on your skin, sense the hush that comes only when everything is listening. There is a teaching buried in this moment, one not spoken aloud, but carried in the way the fog moves without disturbing the trees, in the way the deer glances once, then leaves, in the way the earth absorbs the rain without question. The teaching is this: nothing needs to be held for it to be part of you. Let the mist pass. Let the deer go. Let the quiet return. You do, and the forest remains within you. Your body, still resting in the room, is no longer just a body. It is a landscape. And peace has become the wind that moves through it. You breathe, and it feels like mountains breathing. You lie still, and it feels like stars hanging in place. You begin to see that sleep is not the opposite of wakefulness. It is its shadow, its twin, its softer form. What light is today's stillness is to sleep away of knowing without questioning, a way of being without naming. There is another story, almost too simple to be told. A monk asked his teacher, "How do I sleep well?" The teacher replied, "Let go of the one who asks. No follow-up, no elaboration, just the invitation to rest, as if you were not a person sleeping, but simply sleep itself, settling into form for a while." You feel that now, not as philosophy, but as breath, as warmth, as weightlessness. There is no one here who must sleep, no mind that must quiet, no body that must release. And yet, the mind is quiet, the body is soft, and sleep is near. A rhythm begins that feels older than thought, like a lullaby sung by the earth. Not a tune, not a melody, but a pulse, a presence, a vibration of being that cradles you from the inside out. You no longer think of the world outside this room. It is not forgotten, just distant, like the sound of wind in trees far up a mountain path. Real, but no longer needed. Here, there is only breath, only warmth, only stillness. And through that stillness, something sacred begins to unfold, not in language, but in sensation. Not in meaning, but in rest. You feel yourself slipping, but it is not a fall. It is a return, like rainwater flowing back to the ocean, like light returning to the flame, like silence coming home to itself. And still you are here, more than ever. There is no more descent now, only expansion. You are no longer sinking into sleep. You are widening into it, becoming sleep itself, without edges, without shape. Like mist, like moonlight, like breath that belongs to no one. The room holds your body, but your awareness has become vast, gentle, uncontained. The warmth beneath you is not just the bed, it's the recognition that nothing is expected of you anymore. You are not being measured. You are not being watched. You are not being asked to change. every part of you, each muscle, each thought, each quiet blinking memory has been released from duty. The stillness around you has said without words, "You may stop now." And you have. A soft image rises without prompting. A bell made of bronze hanging from a wooden beam at the entrance of a temple. It sways slightly in the breeze, but it does not ring. It waits, not out of neglect, but out of peace. Its purpose is not to call. Its purpose is to be silent until the moment comes. You are that bell tonight, resting, listening, letting the breeze pass by. Somewhere deep in a forest, water flows over stones worn smooth by time. The sound of it is not loud. It is a whisper that goes on and on. If you listen too hard, you miss it. But if you let go, it arrives. This is how the body speaks now. Not in commands, not in aches, but in a quiet current of release. You are not doing anything to rest. Rest is happening through you, effortlessly, like the stream through stone. You remember the phrase, "The grass grows by itself." You never understood it fully until now. You do not need to force peace. You do not need to earn sleep. It comes when you no longer chase it, when you stop needing a reason. And so here it is. The air thickens with stillness, but it does not press on you. It cushions you. Each breath is slower now, not heavy, not shallow, just patient. Your chest rises like the gentle tide, falls like dusk settling on a still lake. You think of an old wooden floor in a temple corridor, smooth from the sandals of monks who walked it for years silently in early morning light. You walk that floor now, not with feet, but with the part of you that remembers simplicity, the part that no longer needs language. You move slowly as though even air carries weight. You pass by sliding doors. A courtyard beyond them glows dim with moonlight. And there, under the open sky, a stone lantern stands, unlit, and yet not dark. You pause beside it, feeling no need to go further. The night accepts your stillness as it is. You are not expected to offer anything, not movement, not progress, not understanding. Stillness is enough. Stillness is more than enough. In the ancient traditions, it is said, the true mind is the one that rests, not because it is lazy, but because it sees clearly that nothing needs to be added, not even clarity itself. That is what you feel now. The absence of seeking, the return to simply being. You breathe, you let go, you breathe again. The cycle continues without you managing it, without you monitoring it. You are no longer the doer. You are the space in which doing dissolves. Even thought itself has taken off its robes and set them quietly on the floor. What lingers is not blankness, but intimacy with the night, with the moment, with yourself. There is no voice left inside pushing or narrating or warning. Even the stories have become quiet, not absent, just gentle, like someone humming softly in the next room, not to be heard, but because they are content. You feel yourself being carried now, not through dreams, not yet, but through the slow opening of the self, as if you are drifting deeper into your own heartbeat, as if the breath knows a path you've forgotten, and it is leading you there now. You are safe. You are still. You are surrounded not by walls, but by quiet understanding. And you are not falling asleep. You are being welcomed home. The quiet around you is so complete now that even your thoughts hesitate before rising, as though bowing before they enter. But most don't enter at all. They pause at the threshold of your mind, sense the stillness, and dissolve like fog against warm stone. There is no resistance, no battle, just the natural ending of movement when nothing needs to be done. Your breath continues like a boat, drifting along a river at dusk. You are not rowing. You are not steering. The current is soft and certain. You trust it. Each inhale a moment of arrival. Each exhale a gentle letting go. The water needs no effort to carry you. It only needed your willingness to lie back and float. And float you do. There's a memory not yours perhaps, but shared through the lineage of silence. A monk sweeping the same courtyard every morning for 40 years. He never questioned the task, never rushed it, never needed recognition. Each leaf that fell, he greeted with the same rhythm. Sweep, step, pause, breathe. His hands became the wind. His broom became the earth. The act became prayer. You feel that monk's presence now not as a ghost, but as a quiet guide. He whispers not with words, but with the example of ease, of moving without ambition, of living without grasping, of sleeping without guilt. The stillness around you is not the absence of sound. It's the fullness of presence. You don't miss anything by lying here. In fact, it is only by lying here, doing nothing, that you begin to notice how rich this moment truly is. A single breath stretches wide. A single breath returns. And in that rhythm, all questions fall away. You don't need to know what tomorrow brings. You don't need to remember what yesterday took. In this bed, in this moment, you are cradled by something deeper than time. The room around you fades, not because it disappears, but because you no longer hold it at the center of your awareness. Your senses turn inward, not to escape, but to soften. The sounds of the world grow hushed. The muscles in your legs release. Your chest loosens. Your mouth rests slightly open, as though even the need to speak has been forgotten. And it has. You no longer need to explain your tiredness to the night. It understands. You feel the weight of your body melt, not in collapse, but in harmony, as if every part of you has found its rightful place on the earth, not slumped, not twisted, just resting exactly as it needs to. This, too, is wisdom, the body's memory of rest, of knowing how to stop. In Zen, it is said, do not seek the truth. only cease to cherish opinions. You never quite understood what that meant until now. This moment holds no opinions, no expectations. It is not better or worse than any other. It simply is, and you, without trying, are finally allowing that to be enough. A sensation spreads through your chest, neither warm nor cool, neither pleasure nor pain. It's closer to peace than to any feeling you've known. It doesn't glow or pulse. It rests. It doesn't need your attention. It holds you anyway. You picture a temple wall bathed in the pale light of early morning. The paint has faded. The wood has cracked. Moss grows along the base. It is not beautiful in the way we are taught to recognize beauty, but it is whole. It does not need to be touched up. Its aging is not a flaw. It is the proof that it has stood long enough to become part of the earth. You feel like that now, not polished, not perfect, but at peace. And in that peace, even your identity slips away like a robe falling from your shoulders. You are not your name. You are not your story. You are not even your thoughts. You are simply this breath, this silence, this stillness. No more, no less. You may dream soon, or not. You may sleep fully, or linger in the borderlands of rest. Either way, you have already arrived at the deepest point of night, the place where nothing is demanded and everything is allowed. There is no right way to be here. There is only here. And you are, completely. The rhythm of your breath is now so slow, so effortless, that it seems to blend with the silence itself. There is no distinction between breathing and resting, between resting and being. You are no longer someone who sleeps. You are simply part of the stillness that holds all things. The boundary of your body softens even further. What once felt like skin and form now feels more like air, suspended in air warmth, floating within warmth. Your back rests into the surface beneath you, but there's no more weight, only belonging. It is as if the earth has recognized you and said, yes, you may rest here. You do, not out of exhaustion, not out of need, but because rest at last feels natural again. A story comes to you, now unbidden, slow, gentle, like a leaf drifting onto a pond. In a mountain temple, an old teacher once asked a new monk to spend a year tending the moss. Nothing more. No books. No chanting. Just moss. The young monk accepted, though he did not understand. Days passed, then weeks, then months. In silence he brushed dew from stones, cleared leaves, with his fingers knelt in rain and sun alike. At the end of the year, the teacher asked, "What have you learned?" The monk, now quiet in a way he had not been before, simply said, "It does not hurry." The teacher smiled and replied, "Neither should you. You think of that now, not just as a tale, but as a teaching that speaks directly to your bones. Nothing in you is hurrying. There is no need to reach the next moment. The one you're in is complete, entire, whole. Each breath enters you as if it were returning home. Each exhale leaves you without clinging. There is nothing to hold. And so everything can be held. You are no longer trying to relax. Relaxation has become the nature of your being. There is a kind of sacred quiet that comes not from absence but from fullness of awareness, of permission, of trust. You lie within that fullness now. It surrounds you, not like a wall, but like an open field at midnight. The stars are above, but you don't need to see them. You feel their presence in your chest. Slow, distant, endlessly patient. The night does not ask you to be anyone. It does not ask you to reflect, improve, or understand. It only asks that you lie still long enough to remember what was never gone, the simplicity of being. No project remains, no unfinished task, no pending forgiveness, no missing piece. This moment holds everything, and you are at the center of it, still, silent, undisturbed. A quiet image forms in your mind's eye, a single lotus blossom opening in the dark. No one watches it. No one praises it. It opens because that is what it was made to do. It opens for no reason but truth. Its petals, damp with night air, unfold one by one without sound. Your breath feels like that now. Petals unfolding, not in drama, in grace. A gentle warmth gathers in your hands, your chest, your belly. You don't try to follow it. You don't try to understand it. It is not a signal. It is not a sign. It is only the result of no longer being at war with yourself. In Zen, there is a phrase, just this. And now you understand. Just this body. Just this breath. Just this quiet. Not tomorrow. Not the next insight. Just this. And it is enough. You are drifting now, not away, but inward, into the part of yourself that does not need to be named, into the soft well of peace that was always waiting just beneath the noise. You are not seeking it anymore. You are it. The breath continues. The stillness deepens, and sleep begins to bloom, not as an escape, but as a return. You are not falling asleep. You are remembering how to rest. You are returning to the place where nothing is missing, the place where nothing needs to be done. The place where everything, even the dark, is kind. You do not move anymore, not because you are frozen, but because every part of you has finally agreed to be here. There is no more need to shift, to adjust, to prepare for what's next. You have entered the kind of stillness that is not made of holding still, but of no longer needing to move. Even the mind, so used to pacing behind closed doors, has sat down beside you. It does not speak. It does not fidget. It rests like an old dog at your feet, faithful and calm, breathing as you breathe. Around you, the space has become wide, infinite even. Not in size, but in depth. The kind of space that invites presence without pulling on it. The kind that makes no demands, offers no tasks. It simply says, "This is enough. Stay." And so you do. The quiet that now fills your body is not the quiet of nothing. It is the quiet of everything being in place. You picture a long hallway lined with paper lanterns. Each one sways gently in a wind you cannot feel, casting soft, rounded shadows that do not reach the floor. You walk slowly, not to get somewhere, but to feel the passage itself. Every step is a complete experience. Every breath, a bell in the temple of your chest. You pass an open window. Outside, a koi pond glimmers in the moonlight. The water is still, but not stagnant. It breathes. Ripples move across its surface, like thoughts gently leaving the mind, slow, smooth, inevitable. You pause. You lean on the wooden frame and look out. And then you do nothing. Absolutely nothing. And that more than anything feels like arrival. There is another story. A student asked the teacher, "What is the way?" The teacher said, "The everyday way." The student replied, "But how can I follow it?" The teacher answered, "If you try to follow it, you will miss it. You understand now. It is not a path you walk. It is the place where you already stand once you stop leaning toward the next moment. Sleep is not something to catch. It is what catches you. When you stop chasing, you breathe again, not deeply, not deliberately. It simply happens. Like the tide rising on a quiet beach at night, washing the shore, then pulling gently back. Your body responds without instruction. Your pulse slowing your limbs, softening further, your chest rising like a bellows that no longer stokes fire, only peace. You are far from waking now, but not because you are fading, because you are finally returning. There is a garden within you that no one ever taught you how to enter. You find it now, not through the mind, but through stillness. A gate swings open in the dark. You step through not with feet, but with presence. And inside, nothing grows in rows. There are no paths, no fences, no instructions. Just wild, gentle peace. You lie down there inside yourself. The flowers do not bloom to impress you. The trees do not lean in to be heard. They exist without needing a reason. Just like you are no longer asking anything of this moment. And so the moment opens. The past has quieted. The future has stepped aside. And the breath is the only truth you need. This is not the kind of sleep that pulls you under. It is the kind of sleep that invites you inward, where the stars are not above you, but within, where the silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything kind, and where you resting without goal, without grasping, are more whole than ever, still, soft, safe, and home. The world has grown so quiet around you now that even the smallest sensations your breath touching the edge of your nostrils, the soft rhythm of your chest rising and falling, seem as loud and vast as the sea. But this isn't noise, it's presence. The world is not going silent. It's simply beginning to speak in a different way. And you, without effort, are learning to listen. You are no longer a figure lying in a room. You are the stillness the room has always held, the calm it has always longed to receive. There is no longer a division between inside and out. The walls that once surrounded you now feel like a horizon, wide and round, with no end in sight. You rest at the center of it all, unmoved, untouched, deeply seen. Somewhere in a memory, you may not recognize a monk once sat by the edge of a pond as autumn leaves drifted down in silence. He watched them float. One leaf fell beside his hand, curled in on itself, like a sleeping child. He watched it turn in slow circles, and for the first time in his life, he did not need to name it. Not leaf, not falling, not even peace. He simply breathed with it, shared stillness with it, and after it drifted away, he remained. You are sharing that same stillness now, not with a pond, not with a monk, but with yourself, with the breath that no longer needs to be controlled, with the thoughts that no longer need to be solved, with the body that no longer needs to prove anything to the world. There is nothing here that resists you. Even sleep does not press down like a weight. It rises gently around you like mist. It asks for no surrender. It requires no ritual. It comes closer only because you are no longer turning away. In Zen, they say, when hungry eat, when tired sleep. Simple, impossible, profound. You feel the truth of that now, not as a saying, but as an experience unfolding within you. There is no confusion in the body, no resistance in the spirit, just the act of sleeping happening through you, as natural as dusk following day. You are no longer at the center of your experience. You are the experience. You are not someone sleeping. You are sleep. You are stillness. You are what remains when striving ceases. A soft wind stirs again in the corridor outside your awareness. It sounds like fabric, like a sleeve, brushing past a wooden beam. Perhaps a monk passed by. Perhaps it was a memory. It doesn't matter. The world is moving slowly now, and you are moving with it. You remember another story, a favorite among old temple keepers. A young monk once asked Master, "What should I do if I can't sleep during zazen?" The Master replied, "Then sleep fully. Don't resist. Sit down. Rest as the Buddha would." The student blinked in surprise, and the Master continued, "There is no enlightenment in exhaustion. You smile inwardly now because you understand. Your sleep tonight is not a failure. It is practice. It is sacred. It is enough." The back of your neck releases its tension. Your arms rest heavier against the blanket. Even your jaw unclenches slightly, as though it too has been holding on all day and finally receive permission to drop the weight. This is what compassion feels like when it turns inward. Not thoughts, not affirmations, just silence where pressure used to live. There is no longer a goal in front of you. There is only breath. There is only peace. There is only now. And this now is home. You drift deeper, not by going anywhere, but by no longer needing to arrive. The journey continues, but without movement. It is the kind of drifting that happens when the heart is no longer chasing understanding, when it has grown still enough to feel the truth that was always beneath it. Sleep doesn't approach like a wave. It comes like a slow tide, rising gently beneath you, lifting your body inch by inch until even gravity forgets to pull. There is no threshold you cross, no click, no moment of change. Only the slow dissolving of division between thought and breath, between breath and silence, between silence and everything. You are not falling asleep. You are falling into yourself. There is a field in the mountains, a real one, or imagined, it doesn't matter now, where nothing has been planted and nothing has been harvested for years. Wild grasses bend and rise with the wind. Bees pass through without intention. Stones sit half buried in earth that has never once asked to be understood. You lie in that field now, not in memory, in sensation. Your back presses against the ground. The sky stretches above you. A cloud passes by, not quickly, not slowly, just as it needs to. You do not name it. You do not hope it stays or leaves. You do not think at all. You feel the warmth of sunlight through your closed eyes, the weight of your limbs cradled by the earth, the breath that no longer needs to be watched. This is the Zen you've been looking for. Not in words, not in forms, but in presence. There is a concept in Zen Mushin, no mind. It is not emptiness, but clarity. Not detachment, but peace. It is what remains when the dust settles and the water stills. And you are lying at the bottom of that water now, clear, unmoved, at rest. Even the voice in your head, which used to narrate your every moment, has grown tired of speaking. It sits beside you in silence, respectful and kind. It has finally realized that this space, this hush, holds more truth than it ever could. You do not need to remember this moment. You only need to be it. Your breath moves with such softness now that it feels more like a rhythm in the air than something tied to lungs or ribs. The body has done what it needed to. It has brought you to this place, and now it rests beside you like a companion finally allowed to sleep. You are safe, not because danger has been removed, but because the need to protect has melted. You are warm, not from heat, but from the gentle glow of having nothing left to fix. You are home, not in a building, but in the space that opens when you let go of becoming and rest in being. There's one final image that floats up before sleep takes you more deeply, a stone basin at the foot of a mountain path. It is carved from a single rock shaped by rain and time. Water fills it each morning from a thin bamboo pipe above. It overflows slowly and endlessly, spilling into the moss below without effort. The sound of water over stone is the only sound. You hear that sound now inside you. You do not chase it. You do not grasp it. You simply let it ring. And as it rings, your last thoughts slip away like petals released into a stream, sinking gently, turning softly, disappearing without a sound. You remain not awake, not quite asleep, but whole and held and home. The space you now inhabit cannot be measured by time or distance. It is not the next stage of sleep, nor the end of consciousness. It is something more subtle, more intimate. It is the pause between the bell's ring and the silence that follows, the breath between thoughts, the hush of the universe just before it exhales. You have entered this pause fully, and it welcomes you like an old friend who needs no words, only presence. Your body continues to breathe without your instruction. The inhale comes like mist, and the exhale leaves like wind through pine needles, quiet, natural, effortless. If you listen closely, it's no longer you breathing. It's breath itself passing through the shape of you. There is no more grasping, no more roles to remember. You do not need to be the version of yourself that the world sees. Not here, not now. You are not preparing for tomorrow. You are not recalling today. You are simply this open hands, steady pulse, quiet awareness. You remember the story of the wooden statue of the Buddha carved by an old monk over the course of many seasons. When asked how he knew what to carve, the monk said, "I looked into the wood and removed everything that wasn't Buddha." This is what your mind has done tonight, not through effort, but through release. Everything that wasn't rest has been carved away. What remains is peace, not because it was created, but because it was revealed. You no longer resist the quiet. It is your companion now. A monk's sandals slip across a stone corridor. You do not see him, but you feel the rhythm of his steps, measured, unhurried. The soft clap of wood against floor. A door slides open, then closed. Somewhere a candle is lit. You do not need to witness it to feel its warmth. Your body responds to these images not with thought, but with stillness. They do not excite you. They anchor you. You are grounded, not like stone, but like water, held in place, not by force, but by trust. You are not waiting for sleep to arrive. You are watching it unfold around you, petal by petal. You turn slightly not to adjust, but to deepen. One side of your face meets the pillow in fuller contact. One shoulder releases the last of its weight. You have become heavy in the way that clouds are heavy, filled, suspended beyond need. You no longer ask anything of the moment, and so it gives everything. The last fragments of awareness flicker like fireflies, soft glows, not memories, not ideas, just sensations without names. You let them pass. They are not you. You are not the thoughts. You are the space in which they rise and fall. There's a saying, when you become the sky, the clouds no longer trouble you. Tonight you are sky, endless, still, free. Your name has quieted. Your story has curled into sleep. And what remains is the soft hum of breath, the warmth of stillness, and the silence of a self at peace with itself. You will not notice the moment you slip entirely into sleep. You don't need to. You have already become its doorway. You are already through. And the night receives you fully. Sleep no longer feels like a destination. It feels like a memory. As if your body remembers on a level deeper than thought what it means to return to wholeness. To let go of form and effort to be nothing in particular, and in doing so, to become everything. Your chest rises, and it is no longer just air. It is space being made again. With each breath, you become softer, not in weakness, but in wisdom. The kind of softness that trees grow into after hundreds of years. The kind of softness stones learn after centuries of rain. There is a hush that lives in old temples. Not the quiet of emptiness, but the quiet of devotion. The quiet of something sacred being present without needing to speak. You feel that quiet now, not around you, but within you. It has entered you without asking permission, and you welcomed it because you too had grown tired of noise. And now you lie here as if you have always been here. Nothing is missing. Nothing is undone. You think of a mountain path walked by monks every morning before sunrise. No torches, no talk. Just the sound of their feet brushing through dew-covered grass. Step after step after step. No beginning, no arrival. Only presence, only being. You are walking that path now, not with feet, but with breath. Each inhale a footfall. Each exhale another step into stillness. There is no end to this path. That's what makes it sacred. In Zen, they say, enlightenment is intimacy with all things. Not understanding, not controlling, intimacy. A quiet knowing without grasping. You are intimate with this moment now, with the fabric beneath your cheek, with the pulse in your fingertips, with the rhythm of the dark folding itself around you. Nothing interrupts you. Nothing urges you forward. Even time itself has slowed to your pace. It no longer ticks. It expands. Like the breath. Like you. There is a single candle somewhere far off, perhaps on an altar. You cannot see it, but you feel its light not as sight, but as warmth. That light has no job to do. It does not chase away darkness, it just remains. That is enough. You are like that now. You do not need to push the night away. You do not need to bring morning closer. You are the space between, and in that space, nothing hurts. Nothing hurries. Nothing hides. You are more fully yourself than you've ever been, because you've stopped needing to be anything at all. Sleep deepens not like a fall, but like a descent into warm water. You pass through layers of quiet, each more gentle than the last. The world you once carried slips off your shoulders. You do not miss it. It was never truly yours. You lie still. The air is kind. And if dreams come, they will find you already open, already free. But if they don't, that's all right too. Because this silence, this warmth, this breath is already enough. It always was. There is no longer a story unfolding, just the soft presence of being. You are not the narrator now. You are the quiet between the lines, the feeling behind the words, the breath before the thought arrives. Your body has become light, not in weightlessness, but in gentleness. Each muscle has given up its grip. Even the tiny muscles behind your eyes, which once clung to images and expectations, have gone still. Your face is smooth, not by intention, but by peace. Your hands lie like fallen leaves, no longer reaching, no longer holding, just resting where they are. You are not descending into sleep anymore. You have become sleep shape. Somewhere in a forest you've never walked, but seem to know there is a wooden temple with no doors. The wind moves through it freely. The leaves gather inside like visitors who know they're welcome. The beams are darkened by rain and age. The floor creaks under the feet of no one. And at the center of that space, a single mat lies empty, waiting not for a body, but for stillness. You are that mat. You are the silence of the room, the hush of the air, the presence that has no form but holds everything. There is a Zen parable about a student who asked his master, "What is the final teaching?" The master smiled and said, "I've been giving it to you since the day we met." The student blinked, confused. "Then why don't I understand?" The master replied, "Because you keep listening with your ears. You are not listening with your ears now. You are listening with your whole body, with the breath, the belly, the heart, the kind of listening that receives, not because it is trying, but because it has stopped trying. The moon outside, real or imagined, glows without thought. It does not perform its light. It does not wonder if it's enough. It simply reflects. It simply is. You too are no longer performing. You have released the idea of needing to be anything, of holding anything, of fixing anything. Even healing, even peace, those were once goals. Now they are simply what you are. A small part of you may still notice the breath. That's all right. Let it come and go as wind through open doors. No need to follow it. It knows its way better than you ever could. You lie here not as an identity, not as a name, but as awareness itself. Breath, stillness, warmth. These are not separate anymore. They have merged. They are one, and you are within them, not watching, not waiting, not willing, just resting, just home. And beyond this layer of quiet lies another. You feel it calling not with sound, but with softness. A place even gentler than this. A place where even the memory of form dissolves. There is no need to cross into it. You are already drifting there, slowly, softly, without resistance. Everything around you has stilled. Everything within you has settled. And now only silence remains, and you resting completely within it. The silence that surrounds you now is not the absence of sound. It is a living, breathing presence. It has shape like water, cupping the edges of a leaf. It has warmth like a hand resting over yours in the dark. It does not ask anything from you. It does not need your attention. It simply holds you without question, without end. You are no longer on the edge of sleep. You are inside it, not as a visitor, but as something sleep recognizes, as something ancient, familiar, something it has always been waiting for, even your breath. Once something you notice now passes through you like wind through an open forest. It stirs nothing. It disturbs nothing. It simply moves, gently, without urgency, without need. Your mind, once filled with the static of doing and remembering and fixing, has become a clear pool. Thoughts may still appear, but they do not ripple the surface. They glide across like shadows of birds flying overhead, barely touching the water before disappearing into sky. You do not follow them. You do not pull them close. You simply remain at ease. There is a Zen phrase whispered during evening chants. No snowflake ever falls in the wrong place. You are that snowflake now. You have fallen exactly where you are meant to. No movement wasted, no moment wrong. This bed, this breath, this night, all of it has conspired gently to bring you home, not to a place, but to yourself. And now everything fades, not into darkness, but into softness. The sharpness of waking life is gone. Edges blur. Time no longer moves forward. It simply folds. You are not sinking. You are not floating. You are becoming still, completely, fully, kindly. And if dreams come, they will come not to instruct or to challenge, but to hold you, to rock you gently across the hours until morning light finds your resting form and smiles. But even that moment is far away, for now there is only this hush, this warmth, this weightless peace, and the knowing wordless complete, that you are at last where you were always meant to be, still, safe, and home. The night stretches without direction now. It is no longer something that moves forward, ticking by in hours or minutes. It is a space, a vast and timeless expanse that opens up around you like the ocean beneath a boat that no longer drifts because it has stopped needing to arrive. You are suspended in that space, not held up, but absorbed. The boundaries of your body have grown so faint that you no longer feel them as edges. There is no skin, no shape, just warmth and quiet, and the soft rhythm of a breath that belongs to everything. If sleep had a voice, it would not speak in words. It would speak like this through stillness, through the weight of your limbs, through the hush between inhale and exhale. It would not call to you. It would only wait. Wait for you to remember that you've been welcome all along. There is no more doorway, no more threshold. You are not approaching sleep. You are within it, and sleep is within you. You think of a stone lantern in a garden at dusk unlit, but glowing anyway, just from the memory of light. You are that lantern now. You do not shine for others. You do not announce your presence. You simply rest, quietly, fully, with all the light you need already inside you. A bird cries somewhere far in the distance. The sound reaches you not as noise, but as part of the silence. Even the bird is resting now. Even the wind. There is a final story, though you may not hear all of it. It is said that long ago, a young monk sat down beneath a cherry tree to meditate at sunset. He vowed not to rise until he understood the nature of sleep. The moon rose, the petals fell, and as the night deepened, he did not find answers. He found something better. He found that there was nothing left to ask. And there beneath the falling petals, he smiled, closed his eyes, and let go. You too have let go, not with effort, not with thought, but because it is time. You are no longer the one resting. You are rest itself. And so the silence deepens. The breath slows. The body disappears. And nothing is missing. You are simply here. There is no more waiting now. No more unfolding. No more searching for the right thought to hold or the right breath to follow. Everything that could be done has been done. Everything that needed to be released has already fallen away. What remains is purity, not in action, not in effort, but in being. You are still. You are the hush that follows a temple bell long after its sound has faded. The echo that no longer rings in the ears, but lingers in the chest. You are the quiet after prayer, when nothing needs to be spoken, because everything has already been heard. The body has become a vessel of peace, not a container to be filled, but an open space where nothing clashes, nothing rises too fast, and nothing falls too far. Even your heartbeat has slowed to the pace of stars, turning across the sky, steady, slow, certain. And now, even the stars begin to fade, not from the sky, from your awareness. You are so deep within the stillness now that even images float past without imprinting. A flicker of light, a breath of wind, a sense of warmth near the center of the chest, and then gone. Not because you forget, but because you no longer need to remember. Everything that matters has already settled, and so, at last, you are ready for the final layer of rest. Not a new stage of sleep, not a different state of being, but the moment when even the breath becomes part of the silence. You do not stop breathing. The silence simply becomes so deep, so wide, so welcoming, that your breath is no longer separate from it. There is no rhythm to follow, only softness, only presence, only peace. And now, the last flickers of thought, those quiet, wordless shapes that move behind your eyes, have slowed to stillness. They are not lost. They have simply finished their task. Even your name has grown quiet. Even the idea of who you are has lain down to rest beside you. You do not miss it. You are not without it. You are beyond it. What remains is pure awareness resting in itself, not watching, not judging, just being. And now the night completes its work, not by doing anything, but by welcoming you entirely. You are not drifting. You have drifted. You are not becoming still. You are stillness. No edges, no effort, no end. Just this breathless, endless peace. And if you're still awake, that's okay too. Some nights just lying still and breathing softly is enough to return home to yourself. Got it? Here's the continuation in English, with the same deep poetic and meditative style around the same length. You lie there, as if your body has become the earth itself, not any particular patch of soil, but the very ground that holds all things unseen yet unwavering. There is no tomorrow, here, no yesterday, only an endless present, vast and profound, like a quiet lake stretching beneath a sky full of stars. Your breaths are so gentle now, they resemble the soft rustling of leaves in a breeze, unhurried, effortless. They are the purest rhythm of life, needing no explanation or proof. You do not control them. You do not watch them. You simply allow them to come and go, like waves, washing the shore in tender, endless cycles. A story drifts to you, soft and ancient, perhaps a memory or a shared whisper among those who have sat in silence before you. There once was a monk who sat by a forest pond watching the water ripple in the wind. A leaf drifted down and landed softly beside his hand, curling like a sleeping child. He did not name it, nor label the moment as peace or presence. He simply breathed with it, sharing stillness without thought. And after the leaf floated away, he remained in that quiet, unspoken knowing. You share that stillness now, not with a pond, nor a monk, but with yourself, with breath that no longer needs effort, with thoughts that no longer demand answers, with a body that no longer needs to prove itself. Nothing here resists you, not even sleep, which rises around you like a gentle mist, asking for no surrender, needing no ritual. It draws near only because you have ceased to turn away. In Zen, they say, when hungry, eat, when tired, sleep. Simple words impossible to fully grasp until now. This moment, this breath is enough. You are not racing towards sleep. You are flowing with it. Your back sinks into the bed like a rock softened by centuries of water. The sky seems to expand within you. No thoughts to chase. No burdens to carry. You are intimate with this moment, with fabric against your cheek, with the pulse beneath your fingertips, with the silence folding around you like a kind embrace. Nothing disturbs you. Nothing pushes you onward. Even time slows to your pace. No ticking clocks. No pressing deadlines. Only this breath. A pause. A peace that contains everything. You are drifting not away, but inward, deeper into yourself, into the soft well of peace that was always waiting beneath the noise. You are not seeking, you are becoming. Sleep flows through you, not as an escape, but as a homecoming. You are not falling asleep. You are returning home. The room around you fades gently into a soft haze, as if the edges of reality have begun to dissolve into the quiet. The world you knew, the rushing, the noise, the constant pull of thought, gives way to a vast emptiness that feels like both an ending and a beginning. You are no longer grasping at moments or memories. Instead, you float suspended in a space that is neither dark nor light, neither here nor there. Your breath moves slower, now deeper, not forced, but naturally unfolding like a slow river meandering through a silent valley. Each inhale fills you with calm. Each exhale releases any lingering tension, any remnants of unrest that might have lingered from the day. There is no need to hold on to anything. No need to fix what feels broken. Everything that has troubled you melts away in this vast stillness. You are not separate from the night, but part of it, as natural as the stars blinking gently above, as timeless as the moon's patient glow. You remember a story from long ago, whispered among quiet temples. A master and his student sat beneath a flowering tree at dusk. The student asked, "Master, how do I find peace?" The master pointed to the petals falling silently around them and said, "Like these petals, peace falls when we stop resisting and simply let go." You realize now that peace does not come by searching. It comes when searching ends. It arrives quietly in the spaces between breaths, in the moments when the mind ceases its endless chatter. Your body becomes heavier and lighter all at once. It feels as if you are sinking into a bed, made not of fabric, but of pure stillness, soft, supportive infinite. Muscles that once held tension now relax completely. Bones no longer burdened by the weight of worry or fear. You lie there fully present, yet entirely unburdened. There is no effort. There is no striving. Only surrender. The silence in the room is alive. It carries the gentle hum of the universe, subtle and steady like a distant bell, tolling softly across a quiet valley. You feel yourself responding to this rhythm, tuning in naturally, as if your very essence were vibrating in harmony. In this sacred stillness, you are whole. You are home. You are the quiet breath before sleep, the soft space where dreams begin to take form. And as you let yourself drift deeper, you know you need nothing more, nothing at all. The gentle rhythm of your breath continues to carry you deeper into the heart of stillness. There is no urgency, no tension, only the soft, unwavering flow of life moving through you. Each inhale invites a subtle expansion, and every exhale allows a tender release like waves softly kissing a quiet shore. You are becoming like the earth beneath you, steady, silent, unshakable. The worries that once churned and rippled inside your mind now lie like fallen leaves, resting undisturbed in the vast forest of your awareness. You are no longer caught in the storm of thought. You are the calm that remains when the storm passes. Imagine a lantern hanging in a temple corridor, its flame flickering gently in the evening breeze. The light dances softly on the walls, casting shadows that move like whispers. The lantern does not try to shine brighter than it is. It simply exists, offering its light with quiet grace. You are like that lantern, steady and serene, illuminating the darkness, not with force, but with presence. There is a story of a Zen master who said, "When you become the sky, the clouds no longer trouble you." You sense now how true this is. You are the sky, vast open and serene. The thoughts and feelings that once seemed heavy and urgent are merely clouds passing across your vastness, unable to disturb your deep, clear stillness. Your body melts further into the support beneath you. Every muscle softens, every joint relaxes. You are held without effort, cradled by the invisible embrace of the moment. The tension that once lived in your shoulders and back dissolves like morning mist, warmed by the sun. There is no rush to anywhere, no need to move forward or backward. The present moment is full and complete in itself, like a calm lake reflecting a clear, endless sky. You listen to the silence not as emptiness, but as fullness. A fullness that embraces all of you without judgment or expectation. In this sacred space, you are free. Free to rest, free to be, free to let go. You are not waiting for sleep to come to you. You are already cradled in its gentle arms, and as the night deepens, you drift effortlessly, softly, into the peaceful depths, where dreams and rest intertwine, welcomed, safe, and whole. The quiet around you thickens like a gentle fog, settling over a still lake, wrapping everything in softness and calm. This silence is not empty or hollow. It vibrates with a presence so deep, it feels ancient, an echo of a time before words, before worry, before movement. You rest within it like a stone lying beneath the water, unmoving, yet utterly alive. Your breath has slowed to a pace that no longer belongs just to you. It is the breath of the night, the breath of the earth, the breath of all things intertwined. With every inhale, you draw in this vastness. With every exhale, you release everything that is no longer needed. There is no tension left in your muscles, no weight pressing on your chest. Even your thoughts, once restless and loud, have softened into a gentle murmur, fading gradually into the background. You imagine a temple garden at twilight, the air thick with the scent of pine and damp earth, lanterns glowing faintly along a mossy path. You walk barefoot there, feeling the cool stones beneath your feet. Each step, a meditation in itself. The world around you is hushed alive with the subtle sounds of nature settling down for the night. The whisper of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the soft ripple of water over rocks. There is a story of a monk who, when asked the secret of peace, took a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water. He said peace is like this grain. It disappears when it merges with the whole. You realize that you are becoming that grain, now dissolving into the vast ocean of stillness that holds you. Your body feels light yet grounded, as if you are both part of the earth and afloat upon it. There is no struggle, no grasping, only an effortless surrender to what is. The line between self and surroundings blurs, and you become aware that the same quiet breath flows through you. The garden, the stars, and the night sky above. Time loses all meaning. Minutes stretch into eternities, and the present moment blooms infinitely. You are not trying to sleep. You are allowing yourself to be carried on the gentle current of rest. With each passing moment, you sink deeper into this peace, deeper than any tiredness or thought. You are cradled by the night, enveloped in a silence that speaks louder than any noise. This silence is your refuge, your home, your truth. And in this profound stillness, you find the place where all seeking ends. Here there is only peace. Here you are whole. Here you rest. Deeply, fully, completely. The stillness deepens further, folding around you like the softest silk, smooth and endless. It is not the absence of movement, but the movement of absence, a profound emptiness so full that it contains everything without needing to show or prove. You are no longer a body lying on a bed. You are a vast presence, a part of the unfolding silence itself. Your breath now flows naturally, effortlessly, like the gentle flow of a mountain stream. Each inhale is a quiet invitation to be fully here. Each exhale is a surrender, letting go of all that is no longer needed. There is no tension in your muscles, no tightness in your chest. The mind, once bustling with thoughts and worries, has softened to a gentle hum, barely noticeable, like distant bells ringing across a calm valley. You see in your mind's eye a quiet temple, garden bathed in moonlight. The stones glisten softly, and the petals of cherry blossoms drift silently to the ground. You walk barefoot along a moss-covered path, feeling the coolness beneath your feet. Each step, a meditation on presence. The night is alive with subtle sounds. The rustle of leaves, the whisper of the wind, the soft call of an owl in the distance. There is an old Zen story. A monk was asked what peace was. He took a single grain of rice, dropped it into a bowl of water, and said, "Peace is like this grain. It disappears into the whole." You feel yourself dissolving into that whole, now losing all boundaries, all separateness, merging with the vast stillness that holds everything. Your body feels both grounded and light, as if rooted deeply into the earth, but floating softly above it. There is no effort here, no grasping, only an effortless letting be. The edges between self and world blur and fade. You sense the same breath moving through you. The garden, the stars, and the infinite night sky. Time loses its meaning. Minutes stretch into eternity, and the present moment blooms endlessly. You do not chase sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on the current of rest. With each breath, you sink deeper into peace, deeper than fatigue, deeper than thought. The night cradles you, the silence envelops you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest, deeply, fully, completely. The gentle stillness deepens, folding itself around you like a soft, endless veil. It is not merely the absence of sound or motion. It is the presence of something vast and unspoken, a quietness so profound that it seems to hold the whole universe within its embrace. You are no longer just a body resting on a surface. You have become a part of this vast silence itself, a ripple in an infinite ocean of calm. Your breath flows with effortless grace, like a quiet stream weaving through ancient stones. Each inhale draws you further into the moment. Each exhale releases any lingering tension or thought, leaving behind only pure presence. Your muscles soften completely. Your heart beats with a serene, steady rhythm. The mind, once a cacophony of ideas and worries, has slowed to a gentle whisper, barely audible like the faint chime of a distant bell carried on the night breeze. In your mind's eye, you see a serene garden, bathed in the gentle glow of moonlight. The stone paths glisten softly, and delicate cherry blossoms drift silently down, carpeting the ground in petals. You walk barefoot along a moss-covered path, feeling the cool earth beneath your feet. The night is alive with subtle sounds, the rustle of leaves, the whisper of the wind, weaving through branches, the distant call of an owl. These sounds do not disturb the silence. They are the silence revealing itself in countless small moments. An ancient Zen story comes to you. A monk was asked, "What is peace?" He took a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water, saying, "Peace is like this grain. It disappears into the whole." You feel yourself dissolving into that whole, now surrendering boundaries, releasing separateness, merging completely with the vast stillness that enfolds everything. Your body feels both rooted and weightless, grounded deep within the earth, yet floating softly upon it. There is no struggle or resistance, only effortless surrender. The distinctions between self and world fade away. You sense the same breath moving through you, the garden, the stars, and the endless night sky above. Time loses its grip. Minutes stretch into eternity, and the present moment blooms infinitely. You are not chasing sleep. You are allowing yourself to be carried gently on the current of rest. With every breath, you sink deeper into peace, deeper than fatigue or thought. The night cradles you, silence envelops you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest. Deeply, fully, completely. The night deepens around you, but it feels less like a passage of time and more like a vast ocean holding you gently within its depths. The silence you rest in is not an empty void, but a fullness so complete it contains all things: breath, body thought, and stillness woven together in perfect harmony. You are no longer separate from this quietness. You have become one with it. Your breath continues its soft ebb and flow, like waves lapping quietly against a tranquil shore. Each inhale brings a sense of spaciousness, and each exhale releases any lingering tightness, any remaining resistance. Your muscles melt further into the support beneath you, every fiber relaxed, every tension surrendered. The mind's usual clamor fades into a gentle murmur, like a distant bell resonating through a peaceful valley. In your inner vision, a serene garden unfolds beneath a luminous moon. Soft petals drift down from blossoming trees, carpeting the earth in gentle hues of pink and white. You imagine walking barefoot along winding stone paths covered with moss, feeling the cool, supple ground beneath your feet. The air carries whispers of leaves rustling softly, and a distant owl's call, harmonizing with the breath of the night itself. An ancient tale rises gently within you, a story of a monk who was asked, "What is peace?" He took a single grain of rice, dropping it into a bowl of water, and said, "Peace is like this grain. It disappears when it merges with the whole." You feel this truth sinking deeply within you as boundaries dissolve, separateness fades, and you become part of the infinite stillness, embracing everything. Your body is both anchored and light-rooted in the earth, yet buoyant as a cloud drifting in the sky. There is no need to resist or hold on. Instead, you surrender effortlessly. The distinction between self and surroundings blurs, and you sense the breath flowing seamlessly through you. The garden, the stars, and the vast night sky. Time loses its meaning. Moments stretch into boundlessness, and the present blooms endlessly. You do not chase sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on its currents. With each breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, beyond tiredness, beyond thought. The night cradles you. Silence envelops you. And in this profound stillness, all seeking fades away. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest. Deeply, fully, completely. The quiet embraces you, growing thicker yet softer, like a velvet cloak woven from the threads of twilight and calm. It holds you not tightly, but gently, as if the very air itself is a tender hand cradling your spirit. This silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of everything that has always been waiting beneath the noise, a space so vast and open, it welcomes you without condition. Your breath no longer belongs just to you. It is the breath of the earth, the sky, the endless night. Each inhale fills you with the stillness of the cosmos. Each exhale releases the last traces of tension, thought, and worry. Your body melts into the surface beneath you, sinking not as a burden, but as a leaf settling softly on a quiet pond. You are no longer just resting. You have become rest itself. There is a temple in your mind, ancient, hidden among misty mountains, where monks have walked silently for centuries. You see their footprints in the soft earth, hear the faint sound of water flowing over stones, and sense the peaceful rhythm of their breaths blending with the wind. You join them in spirit, moving not with haste or purpose, but with the gentle grace of presence. A story drifts through your awareness. A disciple asked a master, "How can I find true peace?" The master replied, "When you stop searching for it, peace finds you." The disciple waited puzzled, but soon came to understand that peace is not a prize to be won, but the natural state that appears when striving ceases. You feel this truth settling in your bones, in the very fibers of your being. The need to strive, to control, to fix has fallen away. What remains is a vast openness, a spaciousness in which all things rest without effort. Your breath becomes the quiet pulse of the universe, steady and sure. You float within this rhythm, neither sinking nor rising, simply held by the gentle flow of life itself. Time has lost its grip. Moments stretch into endless now. There is no past to regret, no future to fear. Only the deep, endless present. And in this present, you find yourself whole at peace and deeply at rest. The stillness around you grows thicker and softer, like layers of silk folding gently over your skin. It is a presence that neither demands nor expects, but simply holds you in a vast, unspoken embrace. This silence is alive, not empty, but full rich, with the quiet pulse of life itself. It whispers to the deepest parts of you, inviting you to rest without condition, without effort. Your breath flows effortlessly, now no longer controlled, but simply happening, like the slow, steady rise and fall of ocean tides beneath a full moon. Each inhale fills you with expansive calm. Each exhale releases any lingering tension or thought. Your muscles soften, your limbs feel weightless, yet grounded, as if cradled by the earth itself. The mind's usual chatter fades into a distant murmur, like the last notes of a song gently fading into night. You imagine yourself in a serene temple garden, bathed in the gentle glow of moonlight. Soft petals drift lazily from cherry blossoms carpeting the mossy ground in hues of pink and white. Barefoot, you walk slowly along winding stone paths, feeling the cool earth beneath your feet. The night is alive with the subtle sounds of rustling leaves, a distant owl's call, and the gentle trickle of water over stones, all woven seamlessly into the breath of the night. An ancient Zen story rises within you. A monk once asked his teacher, "What is peace?" The teacher took a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water. "Peace," he said, "is like this grain. It disappears when it merges with the whole. You sense yourself dissolving into that whole, now boundaries, fading separateness, dissolving, merging completely with the vast stillness that enfolds everything. Your body feels rooted, yet light grounded deeply in the earth, yet buoyant like a cloud drifting in a wide open sky. There is no struggle or resistance, only effortless surrender. The lines between self and world blur and fade. You feel the same breath flowing through you, the garden, the stars, and the infinite night above. Time loses its meaning. Moments stretch into eternity, and the present moment blooms endlessly. You are not chasing sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on the current of rest. With every breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, deeper than fatigue or thought. The night cradles you, silence envelops you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest, deeply, fully, completely. The quiet stretches beyond the edges of your skin, flowing through every cell, as if you were a river, merging with the ocean, vast, endless, and whole. This silence is not mere absence, but a fullness so deep it cradles all that you are and all that you were. You are no longer a body lying on a surface. You are the surface itself, smooth and steady, beneath a sky heavy with stars. Your breath moves like a gentle tide, soft and sure. Each inhale invites calm to flood your being. Each exhale lets go of all that no longer serves. The tension you once carried dissolves, slipping away like mist retreating from the morning sun. Your muscles relax into the earth. Your heart beats in a quiet, steady rhythm, and your mind becomes a calm lake where thoughts drift like leaves on water, visible but never grasped. You envision a temple garden. At dusk, lanterns glow softly along mossy paths. Cherry blossoms fall silently, their petals carpeting the ground in delicate pink and white. You walk barefoot through this sacred place, feeling the cool stones beneath your feet, sensing the serene rhythm of nature settling into night. The air is alive with subtle sounds, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the gentle ripple of water over smooth stones, sounds that do not break the silence, but weave into it, creating a tapestry of peace. An ancient story unfolds in your mind. A monk was asked, "What is peace?" He took a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water. "Peace," he said, "is like this grain. It disappears when it merges with the whole. You feel yourself dissolving into that whole, now boundaries, fading separateness, dissolving, merging completely with the vast stillness that enfolds everything." Your body is both grounded and weightless, rooted in the earth, yet floating softly above it. There is no struggle, no resistance, only effortless surrender. The lines between self and world blur and vanish. You sense the same breath flowing through you, the garden, the stars, and the infinite night sky. Time ceases to exist. Moments stretch into eternity, and the present blooms endlessly. You do not chase sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on the current of rest. With every breath, you sink deeper into tranquility beyond fatigue, beyond thought. The night cradles you, silence envelops you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest. Deeply, fully, completely. The quiet grows deeper, still wrapping around you, like the softest cloak spun from the threads of night itself. It is not an absence, but a presence, a vast, gentle awareness that holds everything tenderly, without demand or expectation. You are no longer simply resting on a surface. You have become the surface, the calm foundation beneath all movement. Your breath flows naturally, effortlessly, like a slow river winding through ancient valleys. Each inhale brings a soothing expansiveness. Each exhale releases what no longer serves you gently and without struggle. Your muscles dissolve their tension, every fiber relaxing into the support beneath you. The mind's usual flurry has quieted into a distant hum, like a bell tolling softly across a still valley. In your mind's eye, you see a temple garden bathed in moonlight stones, softened by moss cherry blossoms, drifting silently like snow, and the cool earth welcoming each step you take. The night sings softly, the rustle of leaves, the faint call of an owl, the trickle of water over stones, all woven seamlessly into the fabric of the evening's breath. A story surfaces timeless and simple. A monk once dropped a single grain of rice into a bowl of water and said, "Peace is like this grain. It disappears when it becomes part of the whole." You feel yourself dissolving into that whole. Now boundaries fading, separateness vanishing, merging completely with the infinite stillness enfolding all things. Your body feels rooted, yet weightless, anchored deeply into the earth, yet buoyant like a cloud drifting across an endless sky. Resistance falls away, replaced by surrender, so complete it feels like returning home. The line between self and world blurs. You sense breath flowing through you, through the garden, the stars, and the boundless night. Time loses all meaning. Moments stretch into infinity. You are no longer chasing sleep. You allow it to carry you gently on its currents. With each breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, beyond fatigue, beyond thought. The night cradles you, silence envelops you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest, deeply, fully, completely. The silence you rest within has grown so vast, it feels like an endless ocean stretching beneath a boundless sky. You are no longer simply lying in a bed. You are part of this infinite stillness, merging seamlessly with the quiet presence that holds all things. Every breath you take flows not just through your body, but through the very fabric of night itself, weaving you into the tapestry of the universe. Your breath is slow, steady, and natural, like the gentle tide rising and falling on a tranquil shore. Each inhale invites calm and expansiveness. Each exhale releases tension and thought, dissolving any remnants of resistance or unrest. Your muscles soften completely. Your limbs become weightless, yet grounded, and your mind settles like a deep lake, reflecting the stars overhead. In your mind's eye, you envision a secluded temple garden under a soft moonlight glow. Stones are cushioned by moss, cherry blossoms drift silently through the air, and the cool earth welcomes your bare feet along winding paths. The night breathes with gentle sounds, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the trickle of water flowing over rocks, all woven into a symphony of serene stillness. An ancient story rises within your awareness. A monk was asked, "What is peace?" He took a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water. "Peace," he said, "is like this grain. It disappears when it becomes part of the whole." You feel yourself dissolving into that whole now boundaries, fading separateness, melting away, merging completely with the vast silence that enfolds everything. Your body feels both grounded and light-rooted deeply in the earth, yet floating effortlessly, like a cloud drifting through a vast sky. There is no struggle, no tension, only a gentle surrender. The line between self and world softens and disappears. You sense the same breath flowing through you, the garden, the stars, and the endless night sky. Time loses its hold. Moments stretch into eternity, and the present moment blooms endlessly. You no longer chase sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on its current. With every breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, beyond fatigue, beyond thought. The night cradles you, silence enfolds you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest. Deeply, fully, completely. The stillness surrounding you is as deep and vast as the midnight sky, stretching endlessly overhead. You feel yourself dissolving into this silence, as if your very essence is merging with the gentle darkness, becoming a part of the infinite calm that embraces all things. There is no longer any division between yourself and the world, only a seamless, boundless presence. Your breath flows effortlessly, soft and steady, like waves lapping gently on a tranquil shore. Each inhale brings a quiet expansiveness, a welcoming of the present moment. Each exhale releases all tension, all lingering thoughts, allowing them to drift away like leaves carried on a gentle breeze. Your muscles surrender completely to the support beneath you, and your heart beats with a soothing, steady rhythm. The mind's chatter has fallen silent, replaced by the soft hum of pure awareness. In the sanctuary of your inner vision, a temple garden glows softly in the moonlight. Moss-covered stones line winding paths. Cherry blossoms drift gracefully through the air, and the cool earth beneath your bare feet feels alive and comforting. The night is filled with subtle sounds, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the gentle trickle of water over stones, all woven into the delicate fabric of silence. A timeless story surfaces within your consciousness. A monk was once asked, "What is peace?" He took a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water. Peace, he said, is like this grain. It disappears when it becomes part of the whole. You feel yourself dissolving into that whole now, boundaries fading and separateness melting away, merging fully with the vast stillness that envelops all things. Your body feels simultaneously grounded and weightless, rooted deeply into the earth, yet floating softly, like a cloud drifting across an endless sky. There is no struggle, no resistance, only a gentle, effortless surrender. The distinction between self and world softens and vanishes. You sense the same breath flowing through you, the garden, the stars, and the infinite night sky. Time loses all meaning. Moments stretch into eternity, and the present moment blooms endlessly. You are no longer chasing sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on the currents of rest. With each breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, beyond fatigue, beyond thought. The night cradles you. Silence enfolds you. And in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest. Deeply, fully, completely. The stillness deepens, folding around you like the softest veil spun from twilight itself. It is not a hollow silence, but a rich living presence, a vast ocean of calm that holds you tenderly without demand or expectation. You have ceased to be merely a body resting on a surface. You have become the surface, the serene foundation beneath all movement. Your breath flows with effortless grace, like a gentle river winding through ancient valleys. Each inhale invites expansive calm. Each exhale releases any lingering tension or thought, dissolving them into the vastness. Your muscles surrender completely. Your heart beats with a steady, soothing rhythm. The mind's usual clamor quiets to a distant murmur, like a soft bell tolling across a peaceful valley. In your inner vision, you see a temple garden, bathed in moonlight stones, softened by moss cherry blossoms, drifting silently like snow, the cool earth welcoming your bare feet along winding paths. The night hums with subtle sounds, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the gentle ripple of water over smooth stones, all woven seamlessly into the fabric of the evening's breath. A timeless Zen story rises within you. A monk was asked, "What is peace?" He dropped a single grain of rice into a bowl of water. Peace, he said, is like this grain. It disappears when it becomes part of the whole. You feel yourself dissolving into that whole, now boundaries, fading, separateness, vanishing, merging fully with the infinite stillness enfolding all things. Your body feels both grounded and light-rooted deeply in the earth, yet buoyant like a cloud drifting across the endless sky. Resistance falls away, replaced by surrender, so complete it feels like coming home. The line between self and world blurs. You sense breath flowing through you. The garden, the stars, and the boundless night. Time ceases. Moments stretch into eternity, and the present blooms endlessly. You no longer chase sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on the current of rest. With each breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, beyond fatigue, beyond thought. The night cradles you, silence enfolds you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking fades away. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest, deeply, fully, completely. The quiet you lie within now is vast beyond measure, stretching beyond the limits of form and time. It is neither silence nor noise, but a presence so deep and full that it seems to contain all existence within its gentle embrace. You are no longer merely a body resting. You have become the stillness itself, an infinite expanse where all things settle and dissolve. Your breath moves with the effortless rhythm of a slow tide, rising and falling without resistance. Each inhale fills you with calm and space. Each exhale releases all that is no longer needed, allowing tension, thought, and worry to drift away like autumn leaves on a gentle stream. Your muscles relax, completely sinking into the support beneath you, while your heart beats with a steady, peaceful cadence. The mind's usual chatter has softened to a distant murmur, like a bell's faint echo carried across a tranquil valley. In your inner vision, a temple garden unfolds beneath the soft glow of moonlight. Moss-covered stones line winding paths, cherry blossoms drift silently through the air, and the cool earth welcomes your bare feet. The night is alive with subtle sounds, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, the gentle trickle of water over rocks, all woven into the fabric of the evening's breath. An ancient story arises within you. A monk was asked, "What is peace?" He took a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water. "Peace," he said, "is like this grain. It disappears when it merges with the whole." You feel yourself dissolving into that whole. Now boundaries, fading separateness, melting away, merging completely with the vast stillness that enfolds all things. Your body feels both grounded and weightless, rooted deeply in the earth, yet floating softly like a cloud drifting across an endless sky. There is no struggle or resistance, only effortless surrender. The lines between self and world blur and vanish. You sense the same breath flowing through you. The garden, the stars, and the infinite night sky. Time loses its hold. Moments stretch into eternity, and the present moment blooms endlessly. You no longer chase sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on the current of rest. With each breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, beyond fatigue, beyond thought. The night cradles you, silence enfolds you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking ceases. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest, deeply, fully, completely. The vast quiet that envelops you now feels like a gentle sea, stretching beyond the horizon, boundless, calm, and tender. You have become part of this stillness, no longer just a body resting, but the very essence of peace itself. Each breath you take flows like a quiet current, carrying you softly deeper into the embrace of night. With every inhale, you gather a wave of calm that fills your being from head to toe. With every exhale, you release any lingering tension, worries, or thoughts, letting them drift away like leaves floating on a serene river. Your muscles soften, completely melting into the surface beneath you, while your heart beats a slow and steady rhythm, steady as the turning of the stars above. In the quiet theater of your mind, a temple garden appears, bathed in the silvery light of the moon. Moss-covered stones line winding paths, and delicate cherry blossoms fall softly, carpeting the earth in whispers of pink and white. You feel the coolness of the stones beneath your bare feet, the gentle rustle of leaves stirred by a tender breeze, and the distant, soothing call of an owl. These sounds do not break the silence. They are the silence woven seamlessly into the fabric of the night. A story, ancient and simple, drifts into your awareness. A monk was once asked, "What is peace?" He picked up a single grain of rice and dropped it into a bowl of water. "Peace," he said, "is like this grain. It disappears into the whole." You sense yourself dissolving into that whole, now boundaries, fading separateness, melting away, merging with the infinite stillness that embraces all. Your body feels both rooted and weightless, anchored deep in the earth, yet floating gently like a cloud drifting across an endless sky. There is no resistance, no struggle, only effortless surrender. The line between self and world softens and vanishes. You feel the breath moving through you, the garden, the stars, and the boundless night sky. Time loses all meaning. Moments stretch into eternity, and the present moment blossoms endlessly. You are no longer chasing sleep. You allow yourself to be carried gently on the currents of rest. With each breath, you sink deeper into tranquility, beyond fatigue, beyond thought. The night cradles you, silence enfolds you, and in this profound stillness, all seeking fades away. Here only peace remains. Here you are whole. Here you rest, deeply, fully, completely. The night stretches wide and soft around you, as if the world itself is breathing with you, slow, steady, and calm. There is nothing left to do, nowhere to go, no need to hold on to anything. You lie cradled by the quiet, embraced by the gentle darkness that asks nothing but simply offers space to be. Your breath flows without effort, like a whispered lullaby sung by the universe itself. It carries you deeper into a restful peace where the mind's chatter fades away completely. You no longer follow your thoughts. You watch them drift by like leaves on a still pond, never needing to catch or hold. Your body is heavy in the most natural way, the weight of belonging, of finally coming home. Every muscle, every fiber lets go. There is no struggle, only softness. Even time seems to pause, folding into the stillness where past and future dissolve into the eternal now. Here there is no striving, no need to fix, to change, or to seek. Only this calm presence that has always been waiting beneath all the noise and movement of life. You rest in it fully, completely held, safe, whole. And as the silence deepens, you realize that sleep is not a place you go to, but a gentle unfolding of yourself, a return to the wholeness that was always here. And if you're still awake, that's okay too. Some nights, just lying still and breathing softly is enough to return home to yourself.